everyone, it's me, Colleen. I am so sorry that this is late. It's been a crazy couple weeks and I was really starting to get worried that I was even going to be able to put up a video for July, so I just figured right now I'll just make a live one and I'm going to do the readings for all the signs in the same video, and you can just skip forward to which sign is for you. So this is for Sun, Moon, and Rising, and I'm just gonna go through my tarot cards here, and I might even pull an oracle card for each sign as well. We'll see how I feel as I go through. So last month in June, for Gemini, I had talked to us about, because I'm also a Gemini, I had talked to us about, you know, the month feeling like a balancing act. It was kind of going back and forth between like good things, maybe not so good things, and like trying to balance how we react to those situations and things like that. And let me tell you, wow. I had started a new job when we moved down here in North Carolina in the beginning of May. I got a new job, and it was like the most miserable people ever, like constantly complaining, and this was in a healing environment also, and just completely complaining the whole time, and to the point where this one girl, I mean, I was only working there for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and the one girl like dumped all of her stuff on me, from like childhood issues all the way up until now, within the span of an hour, like with no breaths in between. And I was like, you know, like totally depleted, totally exhausted. And the whole time there was this other business that was calling me. You know, they called me around the time that I first got the job, and I was like, well, I already got a job, so maybe I should just say no to these people. And they called me like 2 more times. And finally, the last time that they called, I was actually like praying, like, please, I don't know what to do, because this job, everyone's so miserable, and I already know that I don't want this. And they called right at that moment, and I answered, and I went to an interview. I got the job, and now I'm the manager of this place, which I've never been before, which is amazing, because I've wanted to be a manager for so long. I knew I could do it, so huge upgrade in all ways, and I'm so glad that I freaking answered the call. You know, it's funny because sometimes we think that we're on the right path. Sometimes we think that we're doing the right thing. Like when I was at that miserable job, there was a point where I was like, well, maybe my purpose here is to help these people, you know, get out of this cycle of negative thinking. Maybe that's why I'm here. Maybe I'm here to help them with that. And then it was like, no, like I can't be responsible for everybody's happiness. I can't be responsible for how people live their own lives. I can offer advice, and I can present myself in a way that can be inspiring for other people to, you know, live their lives in a more beneficial and positive way for themselves. But I can't, you know, be bending over backwards trying to make sure that everyone is happy and isn't, you know, in their own stuff, you know? So like you can help to a certain point, but not to the point of overexhaustion and depletion and things like that. You need to, you know, take care of yourself as well. So if you're watching this video, this is probably a message that you need to be hearing at this time. So yeah, I started that job, and so it's been like really busy lately, and I'm like trying to like reprioritize my life and be like, okay, so how can I get these readings in and also do this job at the same time, and also, you know, have time for my husband and have my own life, you know. It's been interesting. So sorry for chatting away for the first 5 minutes, but and I apologize if there's an echo in here. I'm in my space where I do yoga and meditate and stuff, and there's not that much stuff in here. so the sound bounces. Okay, so if you're watching this, I want you to take a deep breath. So I'm actually going to start with Aquarius. I just got this feeling that I need to start with January Aquarius. But then from here, I'm going to go through all the signs in order. So Aquarius and then Capricorn will be last. So feel free to skip forward to your own sign if you don't feel like sitting through all of these. So this is for Aquarius. And I haven't done the shuffling live for a while because sometimes it takes a while. Whoop. And as I say that, to come out. So I feel as if you are also in this energy of rebalancing, kind of like what I was just talking about. And yeah, feeling like life is out of balance. You're trying to get yourself back into like you're trying to reprioritize, almost how I was just talking about a little bit ago. Maybe that was a message for what we can expect in the month of July, is learning how to reprioritize, which makes sense because Mars is retrograde. And then also Chiron just went retrograde as well. So, you know, we're dealing with our stuff and we're learning and we're relearning how to prioritize where our energy is being placed throughout our lives. So reprioritizing our finances, like where are you overspending? Where are you maybe being frugal in your life? Are you allowing yourself to have fun? I'm going to turn this just so it's not such a dramatic lighting. You know, where are you overspending in your life? Where are there places in your budget that you may need to cut back on? You know, things like that. And then also just making sure that you're being authentic and not trying to live your life in like if you have certain people that you admire that are inspirational to you, you know, like taking the stuff that you love from them and then transforming it into who you are, and like utilizing that as a way to bring out who you are in a more real and more authentic way, not necessarily just straight up, you know, if they bought a Ferrari, you're gonna go buy a Ferrari or something like that. I just thought I would pick the most outrageous thing. But not changing who you are to try to be like someone else is kind of what I'm getting here. And also protecting, self-protection here is very important. But I do see, so it's going to be a rough couple weeks. So this is the beginning of the second week in July. So this is figuring out a spiritual practice for yourself so you can be more real with who you are and be more like surrendering to who you are. And then also lots of self-protection, maybe not sharing every detail with people, maybe because there is also something here that could be saying that other people could be stealing your ideas, could be trying to copycat you in a certain way. And then also on the flip side, you not doing that as well to people that you admire, you know, being your authentic self and learning to you know, learning to balance your life through self-preservation is what I feel. I do feel like it's important to really preserve your energy and do self-protection this month for yourself, but I do feel like towards the end of the month, you will have gone through things that will have helped you to master your emotions in like on another level. So because we do have, I mean, we have Chiron retrograde and we have Mars retrograde. So it's a lot of intense, like trying to use our energy in a certain way without taking it out on others, but then also not repressing it back into our psyche, like making sure it's coming up, we're feeling it, we're releasing it, and and then rising to another level. So I'm just gonna pull an oracle card for you, Aquarius. This card has been coming up like crazy lately. It came up the other week on Instagram, Rising to Higher Ground, and I did a reading on myself, and the same card came out, and here it is again. Rising above the bullshit is what I feel is really important. What is worth your time and energy and what isn't? And then, elevating above what doesn't need your attention or reaction, and focusing on what's important. Okay, Aquarius, so that's your message for July. I hope that it resonates with you, and you can always go to my website if you want to talk about this more in detail, which it should be in the details below at some point. So okay, so Pisces. Ooh. Oh, that was fast. So this is for Pisces. So I definitely feel like you're at a fork in the road where you could go one way or another and you're really just not sure what to do. Or this could be because Chiron, I believe, is retrograding in your sign, or if it hasn't yet, it's going to be in September for sure. I think it kind of I feel like I have to sneeze. That was weird. It just came and then it went away. That was really weird. Okay. What was I saying? That just totally threw me off. Yeah, Chiron is going retrograde in your sign. At some point during its transit, between now and December. I definitely know that it's going retrograde in September, but I think that it may be going in either right now or a little bit later. I think it's kind of going back and forth between Aries and Pisces. Either way, it's just, going back to things that need healing, that you had the opportunity to heal in the past and maybe you didn't really address it. And now, the universe is giving you another opportunity to really heal it. And, when it comes to wounds, when it comes to traumas of our past, I think that it's important to know that when I say healing, I don't mean like we just forget about it and it doesn't affect us so it doesn't affect us anymore, but we still remember it. It still comes up in our psyche and our thoughts, at certain points in our lives, but it's really like, how are we reacting to when it comes back up again? Like, what is our reaction to it? And, you know, forgiveness and compassion for yourself, and, you know, having compassion for your human side, you know, and realizing that, you know, this is a place of contrast. There are going to be times that really royally suck, and then there's going to be times that are fucking awesome. So just, you know, having compassion for yourself through that, and then forgiving yourself for those situations that you had put yourself in, knowing, like, being like, if it's like, if I knew then what I know now, I probably wouldn't have done it. But you didn't know then what you know now. So, you know, ergo, you can forgive yourself for whatever the situation was, you know, having compassion, like looking at it in that way. Like, I didn't realize that XYZ at the time, and so, you know, I can give myself a fucking break. You know what I mean? Not beating yourself up about it. I don't know why I started getting into that, but I think that's a message for you. So, should I stay or should I go? Should I go back to my past or should I continue forward? It's kind of what I'm feeling right now. There's a feeling of wanting to avoid it, so that you don't create drama or anything that's just kind of, it's lingering there anyway. You might as well address it, you know. So it's definitely a releasing of the past, a releasing of like being naive is what I'm thinking. Like, just like this naiveness to what was occurring or what, you know, is occurring right now. And like, not stop pretending that it isn't happening, because it is happening. Sorry, I think I'm now. Stop pretending that it isn't happening, because it is happening, and it needs to be addressed. And once you do, you can, you know, release those feelings of the past and take your power back, and take responsibility for your part in whatever situation it was, taking responsibility for your life and releasing the victim thoughts that are, you know, dictating the way that you live your life, whether consciously or subconsciously. Yeah, I think that's your message. It's pretty intense, which is very, you know, it makes sense because Chiron, the wounded healer, is retrograding in your sign, you know, now or at some point between now and September. So it's going to be an interesting month. So making sure that you are not pushing yourself too hard, having compassion for yourself, forgiving yourself if you make mistakes, because guess what? We all do. And I would say, if you're going to your past, it's just for the purpose of forgiving, releasing, and moving on. It's not for the purpose of going back and staying there. Okay? So hope and happiness is the card that is coming up for you as well. So I do feel like this is also saying that once this is addressed and taken care of and released, this is where you'll be. We're also just keeping the hope alive within yourself and knowing that, you know, this is all temporary. It's not a permanent situation, and you have the power to let it go and carry on with your life. And you don't have to wait. And also you don't have to wait for these things to be fully released, to be fully addressed, for you to be happy right now. And that's another message for you. Definitely, you need to be doing things that make you happy in this present moment, and not living in the past, either in your thoughts or, you know, with those people and situations from the past. And then, you know, healing at some point this month. So yeah, I think you got that message. I feel like I could keep talking about that for you. So yeah, if you want to go to my website, reach out to me for a personal reading, you're more than welcome to do so. And I appreciate your business. So you guys are awesome. Okay. Aries. Aries, Aries, Aries. So I'm sure my one friend who's an Aries is probably going to be excited that I'm doing the Aries readings earlier than later, because the last couple of months Aries has been coming up as one of the last ones posted. So Aries, Aries, Aries. So oop, this one also. That's interesting. So Chiron is also going through your sign as well. I think that it did a month or so ago, or like in May at some point, it was going through your sign. And I think that when it's retrograding this time, it's going through it again. I haven't really studied too deeply with Chiron, but I am hoping to in the future. Whoop. Oh, perfect. Okay. Interesting. So the last two cards that came up, I feel like I want to flip them around. I want to be like constantly flipping them around over and over again. So I feel like that message could go either way. So that's interesting. So I definitely feel like this month has to do with relationships for you. I feel like it has to do with personal relationships and how they are triggering your past. They're triggering traumas from your past, which makes sense because Chiron, wounded healer, retrograding, I believe in your sign. So it's bringing things up, and not to mention we have Mars retrograding in your sign. No, I'm sorry, that's not true. Mars is retrograding, and I believe that Mars is your ruling planet as well. So I feel like that is affecting you more strongly than other signs. Scorpio too. And so Mars retrograde is kind of like Mars retrograde coming in is kind of like forcing us to slow down and to reprioritize where we're putting our energy, what is our motivation with everything that we're doing. And then towards the end of the month, Mercury is going retrograde. So it's like this, I almost feel like it's kind of like an internalizing energy because we're not able, like we're like relearning how to preserve our energy and use it in a more effective way. And through that process, we're like holding on to a little bit of energy throughout this time instead of like, expelling it everywhere. So I feel like through that, there's like some tension there of like holding things back. And then it kind of leaks out in like little bursts of energy, which, with Mars is the planet of war or the god of war. And so it's like aggressive energy, intense energy, anger, things like that, kind of like throughout the month. So I kind of feel like little outbursts are going to be happening for you this month. And then towards the end of the month, it's going to be like a little bit more intensified because of the frustration of not really fully being able to communicate or express exactly how you're feeling. So there's going to be some extra frustration towards the end of the month. So I'm letting you know now so you can get into a practice that helps you to really center yourself and tune into what it is that your body needs, and so that you're not taking it out on people and people are like, what did I do? Like, what? Like, you're freaking out about something that I did 2 years ago? What's happening? So there's definitely something going on with relationships. And it's definitely triggering your past. So with Chiron the Wounded Healer, we are learning to look at our wounds from things that we have held on to and have allowed ourselves to live in it, even though it's in the past, but we still continue to like replay that movie over and over again, and then we're looking for proof that the way that we feel now because of what happened in the past is still evidential and is still real. So it represents itself back to us now because you know, everything in our lives is a projection of our internal lives. So I'm just saying, like, you gotta really, you gotta let it go. So it's coming up, we're looking at it, we're observing it, we are letting it go by not owning it anymore. You know, it's not serving a purpose for you, so you need to understand how to release it and not put your full focus on it. So when emotions start coming up, you know, go in a room by yourself and let yourself feel those things, and then be like, okay, so I'm gonna move on and I'm gonna continue on with my day, instead of letting it destroy your entire day and then sitting in it and being miserable and not doing anything, not being productive because you're sitting in it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a difference between like feeling something fully for like a few hours versus, you know, being stuck in it for days or for a full day, or like, do you know what I mean? So start your self-care practices now so that when those times come, it will be easier for you to witness it and, you know, have compassion for yourself, take care of yourself, and let it go, and then gently continue on with your day. I do feel like there's also this feeling like if I get there's like this obsessiveness. I almost feel like there's like this obsessiveness of like it, like having my I'm gonna say financial because these are both pentacle cards here. Having my financial life in order, like for myself, is going to make everything better. As if your finances are the main reason for the issues in your relationship. And it's kind of saying it doesn't matter if your personal life, if your personal finances are in order and are balanced, because it does not dictate the personal happiness within your relationship. It has nothing to do with it. It is just a physical representation of what is going on within your relationship. But if you take that out of the picture, there are still issues there that need to be addressed, that need to be healed and released. So not using finances as a way of like putting a temporary band-aid on a situation that needs to be healed. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like putting a band-aid on top of a gaping wound. So that's like, you know, this big, and your band-aid's like, you know. There's other things that need to be taken care of, and the money, finances has nothing to do with it. And then we have intuition and make a decision that's coming up for you, Aries. So it's kind of like listening to your gut about, there's something here within your relationship that you have not made a clear and distinct decision about, and you need to be honest with yourself and then act upon it. And, you know, as long as you have a self-care ritual for yourself that you're doing daily, which I strongly recommend, doing something every day for yourself that makes you happy as your self-care ritual, that's going to, you know, clear your mind and relax you. Those are the times when you can really hear your intuition and know that that's what you're feeling, you know, rather than your ego, fear energy talking to you. So that's your message, making sure that you're in tune with your intuition this month, doing a self-care ritual daily, and then, you know, once you get a grasp on the sounds of your intuition, you can make a clear and distinct decision and move forward and release if you need to. Okay. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Aries, you can go to my website if you would like a personal reading. Thanks. Okay. Who's next? Taurus. Which is funny because my sister just texted me and she's a Taurus. So Taurus, I almost feel like that's kind of similar to Aries. It's like you're putting your focus on the wrong thing this month. Putting your focus on the wrong thing, and you're not allowing yourself to really, like, you've got tunnel vision on some area of your life and you're not looking at the big picture. You're not looking at the rest of the story. You're only like tuned into this one minuscule situation. I don't believe that this is I'm going to say this is probably not a time to make drastic changes in your life. If there's something major that you're looking to do, I'd say you're probably not looking at all the details. There's too many cards falling out. I just need one more. You're not looking at all the details of some situation if you're looking to make a drastic change. Yeah, it's like all saying the same thing. It's like you do not know as much as you think you know about a certain situation. And like you are not as fully experienced in a certain situation that you think you are. You're not as wise as you think you are in regarding a certain situation in your life. Maybe it's I feel like you're probably doing some sort of life review. And I feel like you think that you are ready to take on something humongous and you are not fully prepared. It's basically what I keep hearing over and over. It's like, you know, you're not looking at the big picture, you're not looking at all the details, and you think that you're ready for something major and you're not. So, you know, really going back to the drawing board a little bit and looking at, I keep wanting to say like re things, which is retrograde, which, there's so many planets that are currently in retrograde, so I feel like this is a time for, reprioritizing, replanning, going back to the drawing board, and starting over, like really being like, okay, what is it that I want my life to look like? And then, putting my trust in fate, not trying to force the will of the universe, trusting in divine timing. Yeah, and I also have a leap of faith for your oracle card. Jeez, why did that take so long to come out? Okay, so that is your oracle card, leap of faith. So it's kind of like putting your faith back into the flow of the universe. Stop trying to obsessively manipulate the will of the universe, or your fate, your destiny. I feel like destiny and fate is really at hand here. So I know that I'm pretty sure the last couple months you were working through your karma. So this is a month where you have the opportunity to really paint the picture of your life again, like recreate yourself, but from a place of planning, not from a place of action. That's what you need to know. So this is not a time for acting, this is a time for planning. So going back and making sure that you are looking over the details over again before you try to change your fate or change your destiny, shifting it or, taking a step closer to it, because I don't feel like you are really looking at everything. I feel like I almost feel like a know-it-all in a little bit of a way is kind of the energy that I'm coming across, where like I think I know everything about a situation and I'm the only one that knows everything about this situation and nobody else does. So kind of a small amount of arrogance with the Mars retrograde. So, getting humble, putting your faith in the universe again, and really going back and looking at the details of your life and like going back to the drawing board is really like, before you try to make a drastic change and, completely shift every area of your life, you really need to go back and re-look over everything and make sure that this is what you really want to do. Okay, Taurus? So that's your message, short and sweet, but it was like very to the point. Like, you need to know this. This is not a time for action. This is a time for replanning. So I hope that you enjoyed that. You can go to my website if you would like a personal reading with me. And now we are into Gemini. Whew. I wish I brought a drink up with me. Okay, Gemini. Ooh, one of the cards just flipped. Where is it? Oh, okay. Well, I guess that card wants to come out. Okay, so Gemini, I feel like something in your family life is out of balance, whether it's with your personal relationships or with your family in general, like your relatives and things like that. I feel like there's a certain part of your family life that feels like it's not where it needs to be. I feel like you've lost some confidence in yourself with moving forward. There's been some great changes for you in the last couple months. Lots of great things have been coming to you. And now that it's here, there's a hesitation to continue forward, almost like being afraid that, too much of a good thing, you know, may, you know, backfire or something like that. So I definitely feel like the universe is offering you a chance to really rewrite your it's like, I mean, we have the Wheel of Fortune, so it's like, what is it that you want to focus on now? You know what I mean? So like for me, the last couple of months, my focus was on, I mean, like the last couple of years, my main focus was on moving here to North Carolina, and that took years. But I also, because I kept putting it on the back burner and then focusing on something else, is what I think that's what was going on. And then, you know, and you know, now it's the last couple years it's been focused on like, I want to have a baby, blah 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 blah. So, you know, like, okay, so where is it that I want to, what is it that I want to work on now is really kind of like what is going on here. So what is it that you want to put the majority of your energy into this month and, you know, moving forward? So if you were putting a lot of your energy into, well, I mean, actually that kind of makes sense with Mars retrograde. It's like reprioritizing where your energy is going. Because I know for me, I would always have like my hand in like multiple cookie jars like at once, like trying to do a bunch of different things. And then, you know, now it's been condensed into like two things. Like now it's like, all right, I have this, I'm working at this business and I'm a manager, and now here I am doing the tarot thing. Like I've kind of, you know, been dragging my ass on it a little bit, but I want to continue with it. So, you know, what is it that you want to put your energy towards moving forward? And once you put your energy towards those things, that's when the universe kind of reciprocates and helps you to get it there. So it's kind of saying like, if you've been feeling out of sorts the last, you know, this month, if you're feeling out of sorts in the beginning of the month regarding family, regarding your home life, regarding finances and things like that, the universe is going to give you an opportunity to really get yourself refocused on what it is that you really want. Like, where do you see yourself going? And then from there, towards the end of the month, you're going to be like, all right, let's get to work, is kind of the energy that I feel is going on. So there's a little bit of a hesitation at the beginning of the month, probably this week as well. Maybe not feeling like I'm ready to take on the world with what it is that I'm trying to do. But I would say with this eclipse that's coming up this week, I would be putting my focus into what is it that I want to be working on for the next 6 months. And then from there, putting action towards that. Okay, Gemini, and new experiences and possibilities. I love that. So that's kind of verifying what I was saying. You know, new experiences and possibilities are waiting for you. You just need to put that energy and focus towards it. And, you know, give yourself the push that you need to get things done, to get yourself there. So nothing's going to happen if you're just sitting on your ass and just thinking about it. You need to be taking the steps to, you know, bring it closer to you. And, you know, one step at a time. It's not all going to come all at once. Okay, so. Woo. And now we're getting into Cancer. So for anyone that's watching live, I am doing all the readings in the same video. And I did already do Pisces, so that's going to be the second one in this video, so you can always come back and rewatch it for the future, because I did see that somebody said they were Pisces. So right now we are working on Cancer. I also feel like this is not the time for charging ahead for you, Cancer. I feel like this is a time for nurturing is the word that came up. A time for self-care for the first half of the month. And then towards the end of the month, let's see what we got. Towards the end of the month, I kind of feel like once you give yourself the self-care you need, then you can move forward and, you know, do exactly what it is that you want to do, you know, in the way that you want to do it without worrying about what anybody else is expecting of you or what you think they expect of you, because maybe they really don't. Maybe it's just, you know, self-imposed thoughts that this is what they expect of me. Okay, so with, you know, with Chiron being retrograde and us needing to be like, you know, re-looking at our wounds and, you know, working towards releasing them, I feel like that is something that is going to be coming up for you this month. Probably after the eclipse, once you start moving to the beat of your own drum and not giving a crap, basically, I feel like things are going to be coming up that are potential triggers to those wounds of the past for you. And, you know, you may feel, I feel like they're tied to your need to constantly have your I almost feel like for Cancer, okay, so I'm just going to say it. So like, this need to constantly want to keep your finances in order is directly tied to the triggers of your past. That's what I feel like is going on. Like this fear of not being secure or not being safe in some way it's coming up through your finances. And you may find towards the end of the month that that area of your life feels out of balance, and it's going to continue to stay out of balance until you work on those wounds, until you work on those Chiron wounds that are going to be coming up this month. So I kind of feel like it's going to be an opportunity for you to officially like release them, like forgive those, you know, traumas of your past and, you know, move on. You know, and then, you know, redirect your energy towards things that you actually want to have your energy towards instead of holding on to those areas of your past and letting them affect your future. And once you do that, you will start to see that everything balances out again. So it's going to be a little bit rocky towards the end of the month, and it's going to continue to be rocky until you address those wounds that need to be healed. So they're directly related to each other. But also there's this feeling where you just want to be like, fuck it, I'm doing whatever I want energy as well. And almost acting like, you know, you don't have problems that need to be addressed. But everyone can see it, you know. So, empowerment. That's your card that came up for this month, Cancer. And I feel like, you know, around the eclipse is when you're going to start feeling empowered and really working on your self-care and, you know, doing what feels right for you. And then, you know, around that time as well, there's going to be these triggers from your past that may, you know, rock the boat. And then that's where you need to decide, do I continue to hold on to this or do I release this? And then you will see a huge shift in your abundance and how it flows once it's released. Okay, Cancer? We are already at 49 minutes. Oh my God. So I don't know how long these allow me to record for. And I've got a low battery. So I think I'm going to find a plug and give me 1 minute. I guess I'm just gonna leave this on. I'm gonna go get the charger, put it in, and then we're gonna keep going. Never had to do that live before. Hi. Sorry for walking away and then coming back. This is my second live stream. So the first one was really awkward. I felt really weird. But yeah, so I'm doing all the readings for everyone on the same live stream, just because a lot of things have been going on lately. I just switched jobs, and my new job has a lot more responsibilities, and I'm like, okay, when the heck am I gonna get these done? So, okay. Anywho, so back to the readings. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Okay, so I did Aquarius through Cancer so far. And now we're going to get to Leo. Leo. What are you doing to make yourself happy? That's something that's coming up for you. I almost feel like you cannot be content unless you are, I'm going to stop. I'm going to pull the rest of these cards out before I continue speaking. There is something karmic going on this month for you. So I feel like there's something going on with a relationship. I feel like you're out of balance. I feel like you are not happy with the way things are going. I feel like this was probably the beginning of this month. You're kind of feeling like you are not content with where you are in life right now. And I feel like it's directly connected to a relationship in your life. And I feel like this relationship is karmic, or is showing you the truth of who you are. And it's kind of throwing you off a little bit. So I feel like this relationship, or maybe it's a breakup. I feel like maybe it was a breakup, or there's going to be a breakup or an ending to some sort of relationship. And through the ending, you're going to see a part of yourself that you have not allowed yourself to see for a very long time, or just you never knew about yourself. Just something through this ending is allowing you to come face to face, to see yourself in the mirror and see this side of yourself that you did not realize was there. And or this breakup is just justified, like or maybe you're going to be breaking up with somebody because you're seeing them for who they really are, and you're seeing the truth of the situation. Things feel upside down for you emotionally, and then we have like this mourning process at the end of the month where there's a shift here. So this makes sense because of Chiron going retrograde and making us, you know, come face to face with these wounds. Sorry, I was looking away. It's just like, I know that I'm seeing comments here, but I don't want it to throw me off while I'm in the flow of doing the reading. So sorry about that. What was I saying? So yeah, Chiron retrograde is kind of, you know, bringing you face to face with the wounds, like the traumatic things of your past, whether it's in this lifetime or in other lifetimes. You know, it just really depends. You know, bringing yourself face to face with those issues that you've been holding on to throughout your life, that you feel like those situations that you experienced defined who you were. And, you know, maybe realizing that this one thing that you thought defined you doesn't really define you. And so you're releasing it, and it's almost like mourning, you know, mourning a part of yourself that you were letting go of, and allowing yourself to feel through it for the purpose of change and regrowth, you know. And I feel like this is a very positive month for you, as long as you are doing things for your highest good, as long as it is making you happy, or trusting that it's going to be making you happy. Right now is probably going to feel like it sucks, but it's going to make you happy, you know, moving forward. And this is very interesting because Leo's been having a lot of relationship things going on the last couple of months, whether it's with friends or family or significant relationships. I feel like this is a significant relationship or a best friend relationship. And yeah, man, like, it's gonna suck, but you're releasing this part of yourself that doesn't belong to you anymore through the self-realization of these, you know, karmic wounds that you've been holding on to, and allowing yourself to be defined by those situations, and realizing that you don't need to be doing that moving forward. You know, not allowing the past to define your future. You know, just because you've been miserable in relationships in the past doesn't mean that you have to continue being miserable in relationships in the future. And maybe you're learning this part of yourself and releasing it so that you are opening your heart more to bring, you know, to feel more vulnerable to love and to feel more deserving of love in your life. So, yeah. And we're going to pull some cards, or pull an oracle card for you. I just saw that one of these is flipped in the wrong direction here. Yeah, okay. So Leo, I am pulling an oracle card, just kind of like do an overall summing up. You know, trusting that the change that is occurring right now is definitely is justified. You know, this is almost like fate is kind of playing in this situation. Like, you need to be experiencing this ending or this shift in your life so that you can, like, level up, you know? Okay. Clear endeavor. So getting clear on, you know, what kind of people, I feel like I've said this to you before. So getting clear on who you want in your life and who you don't want in your life. So maybe, you know, making this like simplified list of, you know, what it is you feel that you deserve in regards to love, in regards to relationships and friendships, you know, and relationships in that way. So making sure you're clear on what it is that you want in your life so you don't have to continue going through this cycle of disappointment, you know? which is, you know, it's almost like you're seeking out the disappointment in a way. Because there's like this undeservingness that needs to be released. You know, knowing your worth, basically. Okay, Leo? Hope that you enjoyed that. And you can go to my website if you would like a personal reading with me. Okay, so now we're going to go to, it's Virgo. Virgo! I think I've said this like a million times before, but there are so many Virgos in my life. So I always love it when I get to the Virgos. Sorry this is so long. But you all should be able to skip through it. Ooh, I saw something. Okay. Okay. Starting out the month being stuck in your thoughts. Hardcore. Hardcore in your thoughts. What's going on there? I can definitely attest to that because when my husband, when he gets stuck in his head, he gets very quiet, which I do as well. So he was pretty quiet last week. And usually I see this as, this one card as a sign of like depression in a way. But I almost feel like this is more so of like mourning your past. Being stuck in the grieving of the past, whether, you know, it was good or bad. It's just like grieving the ending of a chapter, you know, you're like in between pages almost. Like, you know that you're onto this new chapter, like you're beginning this new chapter, and the fear there of not knowing what it's going to bring is where you're getting stuck. Woo! Yeah, so that's where you're getting stuck. And maybe you're not able to really set an actual plan for what's coming with other people, or maybe you're not able to like articulate what's coming next. Like maybe it's, you want to figure out a plan for it, but it's not a tangible thing that you can really set a plan for, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Man, these are taking forever to shuffle. Come on, Virgo. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. So sometimes, geez Louise. Ooh, we're still good? Okay. People are texting me, sorry. Come on, Virgo. And it's my husband texting me. That's pretty funny. Okay, if you don't show me, I'm gonna have to choose for you. Here we go. Maybe a little threatening is what you needed to move forward. Okay, so like trying to put your focus, like it's almost like you want to know what's coming next, and maybe, you know, it's not planned out yet, and you want to figure out a plan for yourself, and it's not presented itself to you yet, and so you are not able to make a decision on what to do next. There's almost like this, it's almost like I'm feeling stuck. I'm feeling kind of like paralyzed in what do I do next in this situation. Like I'm stuck in my head, and I'm mourning the past, knowing that I'm on my way to a new chapter. But at the same time, like, I don't know what's coming next, even though I kind of know what's coming next because I know that it's a new chapter that I'm stepping into. But as a whole, I don't know the exact specifications of what is coming next. And that part is freaking me out because I can't make a set plan. And so I feel like in all other areas of my life, I feel like it's presenting itself like I'm struggling to make decisions. Maybe it's even on like small things. Like towards the end of the month, you're almost feeling like I can't decide what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I can't choose. You know, there's too many things that I'm trying to do and I can't decide what to focus on, or there's just something there where you're kind of like, I don't know what to do, and you're like stuck in your head there. There's also this like not being able to work with others to figure out the best way to approach something in your life. There's something in your life that you're trying to build together or plan together or arrange, or something in your life. And I feel like it's your home life because a lot of these are in the home. I feel like there's something in your home life that you're not able to really plan together, like you're not really working together. Maybe there's kind of like headbutting going on, or disagreements, or not really seeing, you know, almost like getting into like perfectionism, not feeling like everything is ready, or not feeling like I'm fully ready to let go of the last chapter also. Like, we're pretty much done with the last chapter, but I'm not going to take the next step to, you know, completely clear it away. So there's something going on with that, like not feeling ready to completely let go of the last chapter, but also in the process of going into your new chapter and like trying to figure that out. And you know, your mind is over here for the new chapter and your mind is over here for the old chapter, and it's like scatterbrained almost. So I feel like that's what's going on for you, Virgo, for this month. Let me pull your oracle cards. There's indecisiveness. And I feel like it's something regarding Chiron. I really do. I really feel like it's like the Chiron retrograde, like dealing with old wounds. And like maybe you're just trying to make sense of it, or you're not ready to let it go. I don't feel like you guys are going to have an easy time letting go and healing and releasing, you know, old wounds. I feel like it's going to make you feel stuck, make you feel paralyzed, like this fear of moving forward or stepping back and not, you know, being able to decide what to do about it. Breakthrough. So that's good. So this month is an opportunity for you to have a breakthrough. In regards to, you know, I think it has to do with healing. I feel like it has to do with your home life. So there is an opportunity for a major breakthrough, and I feel like this is probably going to occur towards the end of the month. Like once you get to this place of like, I don't know what to do, and then it's like, boom, there's a breakthrough, and you're probably going to feel that breakthrough really push you forward into August. So I feel like I'm restricted and I'm stuck and I'm not really sure what to do, and I'm trying to make plans and like wrap my mind around things that I'm not really able to wrap my mind around things yet during this month. And it's probably, you know, really feeling indecisive towards the end of the month because of that Mercury retrograde coming in. and really being like, how do I communicate exactly, you know, what I want, or how do I make a decision without being able to clearly process it. So self-care, self-care, self-care. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself this month. Make sure that you are doing things for yourself that help you to clear your mind at the end of the day every day. Like not holding on to all of the work that you were doing that day, not holding on to it overnight and into the next day. Do you know what I mean? Because it's just going to keep building, almost like a snowball down, you know, down a mountain, like creating an avalanche of stress that we don't want for the end of the month. So making sure that you have a ritual for the end of the day, daily, that's going to help you to really let go of the stress of the day and really clear your mind. Whether it's like going to the beach or doing some yoga or taking a bath in Epsom salts or doing some gardening at the end of the month, going for a walk, you know, going for a jog, you know, something like that. Okay, Virgo? I hope that you enjoyed that. You can go to my website if you would like a private reading. Oh, just went to, it was like 11111 just a minute ago, or a few seconds ago. Okay, Libra. Here we go. Libra, Libra, Libra. Woo! For anyone that is jumping on right now, I'm just doing a live reading and going through all of the signs in one video. And once this comes up, when it's not live, you can just fast forward it to your sign. Maybe somebody will do timestamps. I don't really know how to do that. I can figure it out, but whew, that just shot right out. Avoiding conflict. Avoiding dealing with something, Libra. Okay, so I kind of feel like this is mildly similar to Taurus and maybe the Pisces as well. So I feel like there is something that has not been fully thought through. And so it's a lot of mind stuff going on this month. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that you're going to be releasing. You probably were able to let go of some burdens towards the last full moon. I can't remember exactly. It must have been 2 weeks ago. So with the full moon right before the beginning of July, I feel like there were some things that you may have been able to, you know, allow yourself to let go of mentally. But it may have been ignoring rather than like fully releasing, because I feel like it's like a way of avoiding dealing with a certain situation that needs to be dealt with. So I feel like it's like you think that you released it so you can continue moving forward, but you really didn't. Like it's almost like you're lying to yourself in a way, where it's like you know, I'm going to pretend that it didn't happen. I'm going to pretend that, or I'm going to ignore it and focus on something else so I don't have to deal with that drama right now, basically, is kind of what I'm feeling. But then also while that's happening, it's preventing you from creating a new foundation for your life, or creating like a real plan for where is it that you want to go and where you want to see yourself. So it's like once you address this issue that you don't want to address, it's like almost like just mentally avoiding, pretending that it's not there, so they don't have to actually deal with it just yet. But while you're pretending that it's not an issue, it's making it hard for you to plan out or lay a new foundation for the rest of your life, if that makes sense. So like, I feel like, I mean, something seems not authentic towards the end of the month in the way that you're presenting yourself to the world, when, you know, in your home life or in reality, things aren't really stable, is what I'm feeling. So, and things aren't really stable because you're not addressing something that needs to be addressed. So there's something with another person or people that you need to have a dialogue with, that you need to be communicating with, because these are swords. You need to be talking with somebody to address some situation for the purpose of, closure is what I feel like it is, for the purpose of closure, so that the rest of your life can find some stability to it, and then it will match, how you present yourself to the world is who you are when you're at home by yourself as well, if that makes sense. So there's someone you need to be talking to. I already did the Taurus reading, so when we're done here, you can go back and look at the Taurus reading. If you want a private reading with me, you can go to my website. I have it on donations, so you can donate whatever you want, and I will provide you with a reading. Okay? Yeah. So that's your message, Libra. Things are going to feel unstable and upside down and out of balance until you really address this issue that you are having with another person or people that you're trying to mentally avoid and act like it's not really a problem when it is. Maybe it's not a problem for you, but it could possibly be a problem for them, and you need to clear the air. Clear the air. So let me pull an oracle card for you. I really wish that I had some water in here, because wow, I did not think that I was going to be talking this long. Expansion. So I feel like this makes sense. Like, you're going to be able to so like, if this is business based, I feel like you're going to be able to reach more people with your business once you deal with whatever this is. And once you clear the air in some other area of your life, it's going to make you feel like you have more room internally for other people. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have to be a business. It could just be like who you are in general. Like, you'll have more room for other people in your life once you clear the air with these other people in your life. Okay, Libra, so I hope that you enjoyed that, and you can go to my website for a personal reading, and like I just said a little bit ago, it's on a donations-based thing, so you can pay me anything you want. I just request no less than $5. And yeah. So let's see here. Scorpio. Scorpio did not like my reading last month, but sorry. And it made me a little bit worried, because I was like, did I do the reading wrong? But then I was looking at other online readings, for Scorpio, and they were all basically saying the same thing, which was interesting, which I do find happens. Everyone's readings are usually around the same kind of topic, basically. Okay, have a great one, Sharon. Thanks for watching. Scorpio, yeah. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, well, I was not way off. Maybe it was just the way that I said it, so sorry. Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Thank you. Oh, that's funny. Same card came out. Okay, so I feel like I don't know if it's working with others or if it's just friendship in general this month is, no, I think it's certain, okay, this is what it is. So the people that you are surrounding yourself with this month is going to help you to remove, because of Chiron being retrograde and dealing with the wounded healer, dealing with the wounds of our past. So the people that are in your life that you are spending time with, is helping you to release the betrayals of your past in regards to friendship. So maybe last month you were finding that someone was being just, untrustworthy, or you were not being trustworthy. There was like some kind of drama that you felt like needed to occur, or you were doing as a way of defense for some kind of karmic reason, or this was occurring to you for karmic healing and things like that. It was definitely a karmic lesson last month for you guys. And so sorry. So what was I saying? Okay, so the people that are in your life now, maybe you were ending a friendship last month, or maybe you were just removing yourself from some kind of situation last month, and now you're surrounding yourself with people who are more real, more authentic, and that is helping you to release those feelings like you've been backstabbed in the past, or like betrayals in the past, like helping to release that, so that you can step out into the world and be your most authentic self. So they are helping you to heal those traumas and wounds of your past that you've been holding on to throughout your life. And sorry, I don't like looking at, I need to not look at the comments. So if you're advertising on my YouTube channel, I'm gonna remove you. So I just want to say that now before I start seeing more. Okay, thanks. So these people in your life are helping you to be your most authentic self and get that energetic flow back, where there's that natural balance of giving and receiving coming back into your life. And it may help you to take people who were once on a pedestal for you and to knock that, and to either bring yourself up to that level, or just like bringing you guys on the same wavelength, because having certain people on a pedestal makes you feel less than, and makes you feel like you don't deserve to, maybe you are offering the same kind of services as somebody else, and this whole time maybe you feel like you couldn't, I'm sorry, we're on Scorpio. Or maybe you felt like you didn't need to, you weren't able to express yourself or like be your most authentic self because somebody else is already doing it. Well, like there's billions of people in this world. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Scorpio. So the key for the end of the month is definitely, you know, realizing that you are just as capable as anybody else to be, you know, whoever it is that you want to be, and that you don't need to put people on a certain pedestal, you know, and make yourself feel less than. And the people in your life this month are going to help you to understand that. Okay, Scorpio. So it's like learning to trust again that people aren't going to betray you. Opening your heart to other people and being vulnerable again, I think is very important. So being vulnerable to trusting again and to, you know, being in certain relationships with people and having close friends. Like just because you've had situations in the past that weren't very beneficial for you doesn't mean that that's going to happen again for you in your future. And really realizing that you are capable of being who you are meant to be, and trusting that the people who are in your life now are supportive of that, are supporting you, you know, are lifting you up to be the person who you are meant to be. And if you are finding that somebody isn't supportive of you, you know, you need to check that. But, you know, also realizing that, you know, in friendships, in relationships, you support others just as much as they support you. Okay, Scorpio? So that's your reading. And let's see here. Sagittarius is our next reading. So we're doing Sagittarius and Capricorn, and that will be it. I already did Aquarius and Pisces at the beginning of the reading, or at the beginning of the video. Okay. We got a fiery card to start, which is pretty funny because you are a fiery card. Let's see what else this says. leaking a little bit. Sorry about that. Sagittarius. Come on, Sagittarius. Ooh, it just jumped right out. Okay. So there's definitely this strong energy of like wanting to charge ahead with something, which really, I mean, it depends on what it is that you're trying to charge ahead with, which with this other card, the Magician in reverse, it's telling me that it's probably not the best time to really be trying to create something new for yourself. So if this is something new that you're going for, you know, Mars being retrograde is kind of telling us we need to slow down and really think about what our motivations are. What our motivations are for whatever it is that we're trying to put our energy towards. So there's definitely this feeling of being out of balance towards the end of the month, especially when it comes to working with other people or being in some kind of community. So I have here that it's like Sagittarius, you're feeling like you want to charge ahead with something so that you can for the purpose of like manipulating the way that people see you, almost in a way, like trying to get, you know, it's like you're concerned about how people see you in a certain way. You're becoming a little bit concerned about the opinions of others, and really what people think of you is none of your business. So I'm going to stop this reading for a minute for this woman that is commenting. You put an ad for something that you're doing on your own on my business page, and I'm not, like, I am going to set boundaries for myself and stop that from happening. So if you have a problem with it, you don't have to watch me, and I don't need your business. So this is who I am, this is what I do, and I don't need you advertising yourself on my page. Okay? So, back to Sagittarius. So there's definitely feeling like you're concerned about the opinions of others when other people's opinions are none of your business. And that kind of throws you off balance towards the end of the month with how you are handling yourself with others. And I feel like that is something that is coming up for you that needs to be healed. I feel like there's like you're becoming a little bit too concerned about the opinions of others is what I'm feeling, and maybe becoming defensive about it, and maybe letting it throw you off from your own personal rituals that you do for self-care. Maybe it's throwing you off and how you care for yourself, because you're not being accepted into a certain group. So I feel like that is something that is coming up towards the end of the month, but I feel like if they don't accept you for who you are, then you shouldn't be concerned about their, you know, about how they feel about you anyway. Like I said, like their opinions are none of your business, and you know, continue about your life and continue about doing, you know, what it is that you like to do, and not worry about, you know, changing yourself for other people or trying to do something to prove something to somebody other than yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like,
if you're trying to prove something to someone else, it is not for your highest good. It's not for your benefit. Like, it's almost like pride is coming into that, and we need to check that and be like, what are our motivations in what it is that we're trying to go for. So that's your message, Sagittarius. And I'm wondering if boundaries is part of the message for you as well, since there's something about community coming up towards the end of the month for you. You know, setting boundaries with yourself so that you aren't changing who you are for other people. Sagittarius, I'm just pulling an oracle card for you. Be true to your heart is what comes up, and that is so perfect. That just totally wraps up everything that I was basically saying. You know, be true to who you are and not be so concerned about the opinions of others, about what you think that other people are expecting of you. Like, not wasting your energy on that kind of stuff, and you know, putting your energy towards things that are important for you, that you want to do for yourself, that makes you happy, rather than, you know, doing something for other people. So that's your message. Last but not least, we have Capricorn. So, I'm going to keep shuffling because I don't know if that really counted or not. And I'm sure it's probably going to jump out again just because I wasn't sure. That I do find that happens. If anyone out there reads tarot as well, sometimes you'll see this card come out and you're like, I don't know. And then you put it back in the deck and you start shuffling and it comes back out again. Okay, Two of Cups we have here. So I feel like the beginning of the month starts out really well for you in regards to relationships and partnerships. Things seem to be going really well, but then we have here that you're like getting stuck in your head here. And this, usually with this other card, Nine of Swords, I see it as like depression, like really being stuck in your thoughts, seclusion, things like that. But again, like I said with one of the other signs, I can't remember, I think it was Virgo, that there's like this mourning going on here, grieving. Oh my gosh, and the same card came up for you as Virgo's reading again. So that's funny. So I wonder if it's because you're both earth signs that you're kind of experiencing similar energy here. And I feel like there's a giving up of power, or not really power, but like control, but not really control, but like responsibilities, or, you know, giving up control a little bit in regards to relationships. Maybe you're mourning who you used to be, and now you're stepping into another role for yourself. And it creates this feeling of like, I don't know what's coming next, and it's kind of it's making me feel stuck in my head, like I can't make a decision towards the end of the month. And I feel like that Mercury retrograde kind of plays into that. But I also feel like maybe there's a change in roles. If you're in a significant relationship, maybe you were the breadwinner for the longest amount of time, and now something has shifted in the relationship where you have a new role to play, and they're going to be the breadwinner, and you're like realizing that there's a shift in like there's like a power play going on. There's a shifting here, and realizing that like you're not in control of everything. Well, I mean, really, relationships should be 50-50, should be I can't think of the word right now, but like, yeah, like 50-50 should be balanced and everything. But I think there's a little bit of a power play going on there, and realizing that you have a different role to play rather than bringing home the bacon, basically, is what's going on. And because of that, you're having a hard time, like it's like you're having a hard time wrapping your brain around that towards the end of the month, and maybe you're having a hard time like articulating the feelings that are coming up with how you feel about that shift. And because of Mercury retrograde coming up, and I feel like the power play is kind of, maybe that's like your Chiron wounded healer thing that you're going to be going through this month, where you're releasing this feeling of needing to always be in control, or always like climb the ladder of success. Like maybe you've gotten to a certain place where it's like, okay, so now I can chill out, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to keep climbing. Now it's like, we're gonna stay here. So I'm going to pull, but yeah, so I feel like that is related to your wounded healer, like the wounds that are coming up for healing during Chiron retrograde. I feel like that's something that's going on here, that's coming up for you. And then there's like this, I can't make a decision, I'm stuck in my head, I don't know what's coming next kind of thing coming up towards the end of the month with Mercury retrograde. So intuition came up for you, and I feel like that is something that you want to be in tune with this month. I do feel for everybody should be doing self-care rituals every day, but that's going to help you to get out of the thinking, like trying to plan out everything even though there's nothing to be planned yet, and getting more into your instinctual side, like what is your gut telling you about this situation, learning to work with the more intuitive, maybe that's what's going on. So like maybe shifting from like this logical way of thinking into this more intuitive, nurturing way of thinking. So that's your message, Capricorn. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that you all enjoyed your readings. You can go to my website for a personal reading, and like I said, it's all donation based. I just request a minimum of $5 for the donations, and I hope you all have a wonderful July. I almost said January. What the heck? I hope you all have a wonderful July, and I will see you in August. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.